Alright, I'm headed out to Santa Ana, California to go to a production meeting. We're going to be discussing an album that we had shelved a couple years ago. And it's not that we shelved it a couple years ago. It's not that we shelved the album, but we kind of outgrew the idea. And now we're going to revisit it, and it's not necessarily going to be in an album form anymore. We're actually making it into a short film that we're going to score for the album. Alright, so the idea today is, I guess I should back up and talk about why I'm actually filming today.
The idea with what I'm doing here is letting people in on what we're doing. Because we've always been so much like, oh, you don't know what we're doing, and then we just release stuff. And nobody knows. Kind of show people this is the process, this is what we go through. So for like 2 years we didn't release any new music because we were working on other, stuff for different networks and short films, whatever the case is. And now we're revisiting this idea of doing an album again. It's like, well, let's show people what it's like when we're going through the creative process.
I'm starting this vlog, and it's really just documenting the process, the creative process of working on an album. And in this case, it's not necessarily an album, it's more of a soundtrack. What makes it even cooler is the soundtrack's going to a short film that's coming before the album, which is an album that we never did that inspired a short film that's now helping us to create the soundtrack. So I'm meeting up with Cliff, who is my partner.
I mean, I've been doing music now for 12 years, you know, like, I mean, he came in, I think it was where now it's 8 years doing music together. But we've just been like literally learning everything from the ground up, and that's really how it's always been with us, you know? Yeah. It's when we started out doing music together, you know, now we're getting into film together.
And we're meeting with the director, his name is Victor Cruz.
I didn't study film, but I woke up one day and I was like, shit, man, I need a creative outlet. What I did love was music videos and Latin music videos. It is, I reached out to one of the big directors in the genre, and I just sent them an email. I found his email online, and I wrote to him, and I'm like, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get involved, but I don't know if I should go to film school or what. And he gave me advice, and he was really nice, and to this day we're friends. What he said was, listen, don't waste your money in film school. Go get on some crews, go PA, learn what everyone does, and then do it. That's how I got started. So this is something all new for us. This is completely out of our element. Let's just dive into something new. We've been doing music for almost, over 10 years now, and it's a lot of fun, but we want to grow. We want to get something bigger. We want to do more. Working on shorts, working on network stuff, which is great, but it doesn't also give us the freedom to do what we want to do entirely. So now we're just taking it into our own hands. Today, I'm in Santa Ana, California, about to go into a production meeting. So we're meeting Victor Cruz, who is an awesome director here in Orange County. We're going to be meeting with him, see what ideas we can come up with, and go from there. What's going on, brother? How are you? See you.
My girl and I, when we go out, a lot of times, the stuff that we'll listen to, if I make a playlist or whatever, it's pretty groovy stuff. So the date night mix kind of concept came, that's what we were going for. It was like, let's put all this music together on a Spotify in a playlist that we would listen to if we were actually going to go on a date. And it was so funny because the responses back from certain people were like, hey, I'm thinking that the whole thing is going to be like all slow, romantic, and it's like the first song is Shalimar, Night to Remember. So, you start off there, and then we work all the way, to the Ron Isley, and the Isley Brothers, and the Marvin Gaye, and the Maxwell, and all of that. But it's like, you learn that people's perceptions of what a date is, it's so completely different. It's different for everybody. And that's complicated, that makes things hard when you're trying to date someone, because this person over here is like, I'm down with sushi on a date. The other person's like, no, you gotta bring me flowers, or you gotta bring me this and that. Somebody may be like, let's just go get some coffee and take a walk. Like, it depends. So it's like getting to that, like creating an atmosphere where you can get to that and just keeping it cool and lighthearted and fun and chill. Like I said, that's kind of like the point of date night. So sonically, my idea was that I wanted to like create a soundscape for the younger me that transitioned into. It's like when you go from 18 to 25, the things that you listen to in a car on a date are completely different. You know what I mean? 18 to 25, everything you're bumping in the whip is probably very, very pop, and it's probably very suggestive. Like, you're gonna put your Genuine on, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
you're
like,
romancing the girl when rocking the boots.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Like, you don't do that to a more mature.
No, you don't. So it's not until you cross that threshold where you're like, all right, well, let me put on something smooth. Let me, put a little bossa nova on. Let me put a little jazz on. All of that, So, and then once you do that, then you're like, all right, I kind of know how to make it sexy. You know what I mean? Like how to make it romantic. Like as opposed to just trying to be like, I'm trying to do everything I can to just get these draws. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's not how you should go on a date. I knew the sound I wanted. I wanted this like romantic sound, but like at the same time, everything that I was doing was coming out like really, really aggressive, and it was very percussive.
So around the music, it's restricting in a way, kind of like the problem that he was having, because he's thinking of a concept, romantic,
but I don't have the visuals to
and so
exactly.
Do I make the whole like album romantic? And so that's restricting, because then you have to find you do video to kind of fit the music. Where right now, if you do the shorts and you do the music to fit it, then you get variety, and that might go in a different direction. And most part, if we do this, we toss it on YouTube.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then just get it out there and see what the reception is.
Yeah, I mean,
contrasting the first film, a young date versus an older date, but I think we take it one step further, because initially we were talking about two different couples.
Yeah.
What if we make sure we have where we give off the theme that it's the same guy years later? Because then it ties in exactly what you're saying.
Right.
What you did when you were young isn't the same thing you're doing now.
Exactly.
And so it's not two different couples, it's the same dude, different points in his life.
Every journey, man. I don't desire to
I myself feel like I of all the hottest spots behind the gym or in the grave. Have to live this bed I'm in. And if I die before I wake, hope the Lord don't hesitate. Get to heaven, went through hell. Tell my boots, all is well. All them fools, sold for sale, sitting next to the death bell. King of spring.